Hello. Okay, so this is we commencing 9th of December analysis. So nothing much has changed on the bias. So I think we're still risk off. Okay, not like retail. I'm not seeing this. तो यानी कि अभी ऊपर जाएगा. I'm not यानी कि fussed about that. क्यों? Because the order flow on the higher time frame hasn't changed. Okay, this was a session-based price action. We'll be looking at these bases as inversions, waiting for a body to be laid, which we have, and then using that body, this CB that's formed now, to infer how bearish we are. Okay, you can see we are really bearish because we're closing like inside of the range of this week. Way below the 50% of that, there's a small daily CB, and we literally closed it outside of that, actually, just below that. So that shows you that it's, it's weak, which is what you want to risk off, and you're looking for this previous weekly low, this previous monthly low, as your drawn liquidity for the week. Another evidence for the risk off is we want the dollar as strong as possible, right? Closing above here. Daily BISI's outside of the daily BISI. And then the fair value gap for the weekly BISI here, this one. Look where we're closing. In fact, we actually opened at the 50%. Closed in the top quarter of that. So, okay, a good sign. That's what I want to see. So, I'll be aiming at this as my intermediate target, okay? This here on the GU. And then obviously, it doesn't have to obviously happen, although it can happen this week because with the with the CPI news, as you can see. So Monday, Tuesday, nothing's happening. CPI 130. Tuesday, a lot of action. So with that CPI candle alone, you could go into the external range liquidity levels premium here. Counterparty wise, in GU, note this SIBI, we have unfinished business. Okay, still have some of that weekly fair value gap open, which is aligning perfectly with the 75% level of the SIBI on the daily. You still have these levels, this consequential encroachment of this wick on the daily. Obviously, be aware because of the manipulation before the CPI. We may even actually go higher. So previous weekly high might actually get overlapped. Just to set it up for the CPI event. We had a false bullish narrative before the CPI for the CPI to go after it. Good things happen like that. Of course, the sequence may be lost. Like I said, sometimes with these big news events, the sequence can be lost. Okay, it may not be a clean week where you have manipulation and accumulation and manipulation going up, and then CPI distribution lower. As you put it in a clean week, it could be, not as clear. Few things to remember. London. I'm not talking about Mondays London. Normal, like weekly days, because Monday's still opening up. Sometimes there's some clear evidence where it's gonna go. Other times you have to wait. But typically speaking, London session, I mean, मैं ले सकता हूँ basically either direction में trade. And I don't even need to hinge my trade on the higher time frame bias that I'm holding for the week, the risk on or the risk off, counterparty week or the weekly side. क्योंकि the range alone in London जितनी वो move करती है, afford कर सकती है मुझे profitable होना, but I may not be right, which I do not care about. However, New York, it's the flip side, opposite story पूरी. New York, my research has shown कि अगर मैं higher time frame के साथ trade लूँगा ना उस direction में, it's beneficial. I'm more prone to be profitable and right if I do that as opposed to baiting the higher time frame idea. And then obviously going against that, and a lot of the times that will actually not end up in a profitable outcome, or may not even be a right outcome. So again, right is never really my goal, it's to be profitable, but figured out it's just better because New York, normally you have a continuation in New York, especially if the London has just messed about, not really done much. That will push your New York continuation chances really, really high. Okay, you're just gonna want to move and get going somewhere. In those instances, when that happens, you will be positioned early on in New York. Other instances where there's news that you're waiting for, we may not continue. We may wait for the news a lot of the times. In those instances, you will wait. We'll see what the news does. A lot of the times, it's just going to be pure manipulation to mislead the traders. And then once they've been misled, counterparty pairing is complete. Then it will reverse and go to that continuation direction, and then I can be a part of that. Or if I miss that, then you have the London close slash silver bullet between 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., where the market is likely to close the daily candle inside of the dealing range for the day that is created. In that case, it's going to be a IRL, internal range liquidity move. And again, that's another really easy opportunity that's time based for me to cap a lot of the times. Low resistance runs. But London, you know, don't have to be right. You can profit. But New York, a lot of the times continuation. Not gonna mess about. If you know your direction, you know your bias. It's literally so easy sometimes. Just put out a trade and just low resistance run, boom, bam, done for the day. And if you don't get either of those, manipulation, whatever, you've taken a few hits, it's fine. Wait for the silver bullet clean price action. If it agrees with your hard time frame levels, sounds logical, looks good, boom, I'll go for that for an IRL move. That'll be all. I think I'm really, really, alhamdulillah, close to getting funded now. Because the hard part was actually just to understanding the characteristics of the market and how I can position myself, take advantage of those characteristics, those time-based characters, such as it can go either direction. I don't have to be right. I can be comfortable in London. That's a characteristic. And the characteristic is continuation New York. And the fact that if London's messed about, then it's going to get to business. And the characteristic is IRL move in silver bullet time. So these are the characteristics I noted. I also know how to position myself so I can take advantage of these. When to full pull it, when not to full pull it, where to add the pyramid entry, and when to actually close the trade when it's not yielding a profitable outcome. And it's been an hour. So I think I stand in a very good stead. Inshallah, profitable way of the